The five of them, Mara, Joel, Quinn, Elise, and Ben, chose the trail because it was barely marked. No crowds, no cell service, just a weekend of tents and firelight deep in the woods. By dusk, they found a clearing near a creek and set up camp. That was when they noticed the totems. They were small, hanging from trees at eye level. Bundles of sticks tied with twine, threaded with bits of bone and feathers. Quinn laughed it off, calling it witchy decor. But Mara felt watched. As night fell, the woods seemed to lean inward, the darkness thickening between trunks. The first scream came just after midnight high, shrill, and abruptly cut short. Everyone sat bolt upright in their tents. Ben swore it was an animal. Elise whispered that animals didn't scream like that. They didn't sleep after that. At dawn, they found footprints circling the camp bare feet, too many of them, and hanging from a nearby branch, gently spinning, was a strip of meat drying in the morning air. They packed in silence. No one joked now. The trail back looked different, narrower somehow, choked with brambles they didn't remember crossing. After an hour of walking, they passed the same split boulder they'd seen earlier. Joel stopped dead. "We're going in circles." That's when they heard the drums low, rhythmic thuds that seemed to come from everywhere at once. Figures appeared between the trees, gaunt shapes smeared with ash, faces carved into expressions that never changed. They didn't rush. They followed. Panic shattered the group. Ben bolted and vanished into the undergrowth. His scream came seconds later, close enough to hear bone crack. Elise sobbed as Mara dragged her forward. An arrow hissed past Joel's ear and buried itself in a tree, fletched with human hair. They ran until the forest opened into a ravine. On the far side stood huts made of branches and hides. Fires burned, and above them all, a pole crowned with skulls, some disturbingly fresh. They were herded, not chased. Spears guided them toward the village, the tribe moving with quiet certainty. Ben was there, or what remained of him, hanging upside down over a pit. Elise, wretched. A woman with filed teeth smiled at her. They were tied to posts. The tribe gathered, murmuring in a language that clicked and rasped. An elder stepped forward, wearing a necklace of finger bones. He studied the friends like livestock. That night, they took Joel. His screams carried through the huts, stretching on until there was only wet silence. Elise broke then, thrashing, until a guard struck her unconscious. Mara stared at the fire, memorizing every face, every exit. When dawn came, Quinn whispered, "We won't survive another night." Mara nodded. She had already noticed the knives left unattended near the cooking pit. The tribe believed fear made the meat sweeter. They had no idea what desperation could do. The escape was chaos. Mara freed Quinn first, then Elise. A guard noticed, too late. Quinn drove a blade into his throat, eyes wide with horror at himself. They ran as huts burned behind them, smoke and screams tangling together. The forest erupted. Tribe members poured after them, howling now, their calm finally broken. Elise stumbled near the ravine. A hand caught her ankle. She screamed once before being dragged back into the dark. Mara and Quinn didn't stop. They reached the creek by dawn, collapsing into the water to mask their scent. Hours passed. No drums, no footsteps. When they finally crawled onto the bank, the woods were silent again. A ranger found them that afternoon. Search parties went out. They found the campsite, the footprints, the boulder, but the village was gone, as if it had never existed. Months later, Mara couldn't sleep without lights on. Quinn refused to go near trees. The authorities called it a shared psychotic episode, grief warping memory. No evidence meant no answers, until a package arrived. Inside was a small totem, sticks, twine, feathers, and a familiar ring threaded through the bone. Elise's ring. Attached was a note, written carefully in block letters. "The forest feeds us. Thank you for the meal." That night, Mara heard drums again, faint but steady, echoing from the tree line beyond her house. And she understood the truth at last. They hadn't escaped. They'd been allowed to leave.